How many more cucumbers you got there?
A million, do you want
Well, no, let's start recording. You can't be eating on the microphone. I'm like, okay, let's start.
This episode is brought to you by Hot Wings. I have so much serotonin right now.
This episode of Real Garbage is also brought to you by binging Battlestar Galactica in less than 3 weeks.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
This is Real Garbage.
I'm making. I'm gonna. Yeah. That is why I got the drums.
Oh my God.
Because I want
Genius.
to make a new intro song because I am tired of that stupid song I made when we started this podcast. It's just me going, this is real garbage. My thought process was, this is going to be about trash movies.
Yeah.
Which it mostly is. And I didn't care if the logo looked like trash and the intro song was trash. But now I have a little more dignity.
Yeah.
Now
we care.
We put out a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
So I want something catchy, something cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I got that drum kit on Saturday. Just rented it. You gotta love Long McQuaid staying open to give people the opportunity to pick up a new hobby, like the drums. You got the Rona. She got the Rona. Choking on a cucumber. But you sort yourself out. Before we started, Katie had brought over some chicken wings and celery. What was it? Cucumbers, celery, and carrots.
And broccoli.
And broccoli. And spent about 20 minutes talking.
Oh my God.
She spent another 10 just nibbling on cucumbers until I finally said, hey, we have to record. It's my friend's birthday tonight. Jesus, you can't be eating cucumbers on the microphone.
Fuck. That was my spit.
You hate when that happens?
I got too excited. I was going to say, oh my God, I can go rent a saxophone.
Yeah, you can.
And play it again.
So I recommend phoning ahead or emailing and reserving it and then just paying for it online or on the phone.
Okay.
Because I thought, in my stupid head, the store's just going to be open. I can just wander in there and look at stuff. Maybe try these. No, it was like a military regimented front door. Like, what are you here for? Stand there. Don't pass the line. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, I just want to rent a electronic drum kit. He goes, did you reserve one? I'm like, well, no. And he's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. He's like, well, what kind of kit do you want? I'm like, I don't know. I've never played the drums. Just give me something cheap. So
a beginner kit.
Yeah,
please.
that's what I'm like, I think there was like a 5-piece listed on there. He's like, as he's looking down, typing, he's like, they're all 5 pieces. I'm like,
oh my.
All right, cool music guy.
Oh my.
So
okay.
Eventually we talked back and forth, and I got a sweet deal, like that drum kit right there with a full-on like kick pedal for the kick drum, and it kicks that little pad behind, so it's got like the thumper or whacker. I don't know what they call it. I can't remember.
We'll call it a thumper.
The thumper. And then there's the hi-hat pedal, which in like a certain setting, in the metal setting, doubles as a double kick drum, which is really cool. And then, it's pretty quiet. Like I throw on headphones and you can have different settings, and I'm just watching YouTube videos, and I've learned like a ton already.
That's so cool.
In 5 days. We're recording this Thursday, and 6 days. I've been playing for 6 days now. Today was day 6.
Damn.
And it's pretty sweet. I love it. I'm just getting in and then today I said I'm going to do 15 minutes of actually learning something, like another new beginner step. And then 15 minutes I'm just going to put on, because there's songs on there. So it's like little training songs, or you can just hit play. A song will start for each setting. There's pop 1, pop 2, rock 1, rock 2, metal, jazz, Latin, a bunch of stuff. You hit play, and all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, oh shit, I can drum to this 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and you just start doing your own thing. I'm like, it'll do like a two measure verse, and then it'll do like a chorus, then it'll go back to the verse, and it just plays that over and over again. So I spent 15 minutes straight just wailing. It's like, yeah, this sounds kind of cool. Let's try that double kick thing. Let's try this. Let's try that. It's so much fun.
Oh, that really makes me want to go get a Barry sax now.
It's so cool. I could never get a sound out of a reeded instrument to save my life.
It's you need good mouth control. You need a You need a tight mouth.
You need to do your mouth exercises.
Well, that's what you got to get that. You got to tuck that bottom lip.
Yeah,
in
you gotta-
and put the top lip over.
You gotta turn it into a beak.
The reed goes right in the middle, and then you just gotta vibrate your lips. I could never do it. My dad wanted so bad for me to play. He's like, I'd fucking love it if you could play saxophone. I think it'd be so cool. I'm like,
Jeff on a tenor, you're like,
I'm gonna make you proud, Dad. He makes my lips feel weird. Couldn't even get it to nothing. Nothing.
hot tip. It helps if you start with clarinet first because its reed and mouthpiece are a lot smaller.
I think I tried that one too.
And I started playing clarinet in band, and then I played alto sax, and then I moved to Barry because at one point in junior high band, we didn't have a bass section at all. It was just like flutes, clarinets, trumpet, and alto saxes. And we had 4 altos. And the teacher was like, you want to go to Barry? And I was like, oh, fine. And when I picked up that Barry, I was like, I'm so powerful.
Is that the one where you get like more low honks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of? Something like that.
Yeah. But
Play some drums.
oh my God. Newest collab. Fuck yeah.
That'll be part of our intro song.
Yeah.
Saxophone. So all I ever wanted to do was play Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. You know the song.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Baker Street. But nobody ever knows that. No one's like, oh, that's just that cool saxophone
Baker
riff.
Street.
Baker Street? You mean by Jerry Rafferty? I know it. I know it, though, because like the first line of the song is like, something on Baker Street. And I'm like, oh, there's the name of the song in the first line after that really cool saxophone intro.
Huh.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You just learned something new.
Yeah.
So Battlestar Galactica. Oh, man. Okay. When was the last time you watched a full series, like front to back?
Like last week when I watched The Office.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. So it might not get the same feeling, but because like when you finish watching The Office, you know you can just jump back in and do it all again. You don't really get that feeling of like, I can't breathe. There's no more episodes. I can't
if you're talking about a show like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like that's what Battlestar was, because Battlestar, I invested because they're 43-minute long episodes.
Yeah.
Season 1 has 18, season 2 has 20, and then season 3 has 20, and season 4 has like 21.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta go to work. When I get home, when I'm home, I gotta eat, and I gotta do this, and then I gotta make sure I watch like 3 or 4 episodes of Battlestar. And that's how I was for like 3 weeks. And then I just wrapped it up the other night, and I'm like, oh man, I only got 2 episodes left.
Like,
then,
what am I going to do?
Been texting my buddy, I'm like, I'm on the last episode. And then you get to the end, like shit happens. You're just like, what? I mean, because it's all about where did humans come from? And then we created the Cylons, AI, as my mom is terrified of, because they're going to take over the world. And that's the story of Battlestar. They rise up and overthrow us and eradicate us. And then we come back, and then they're hunting us. And then we have a fucking deal with them. And then you're like, wow, this has happened before like 6 times over the last 10,000 years. What the fuck? Like, it's just a mind fuck.
Dang.
It's so good though. As soon as I did finish the last episode, I was like, I don't like this feeling. And I threw on like episode 4 of season 3 of Westworld, which is awesome. No, episode 5. Have you watched that? Westworld? It's another one where there's like humans create robots that look like us, and then they fucking take over and escape. I'm like, man, this is...
Listen and learn, people.
And this is what's happening right now with this whole coronavirus, is that we got to a point, we flew too close to the sun with wings made of crayon or whatever, wax. Whatever was it wax? It's the same shit. Red wings. And then you fall. We're like, man, we're living this shitty consumer-oriented lifestyle, just consume, and not give a shit. And all of a sudden, oh, fuck. Here comes this thing that might wipe us out if we're stupid about it. Mm-hmm. And I showed you that video.
Oh,
my
God.
Most of us are taking it seriously.
Yeah.
There's that lady, let's just call her Sue, because that's her stupid name, out like organizing these marches like, yeah, take back your freedom. Don't let them fucking tell us what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, stupid. This is like, whether it's government control or whatever, it's still something that can really kill people.
Yep.
And look out for the older people and the more at risk. It's not about you. Like when you've been cooped up for a month. It's only a month.
Yeah.
This is like a regular month for me.
I was thinking about it yesterday, how the weeks have gone by so quickly, but looking at it at a whole, it feels like it's been more than a month. Like to me, because like I'm not working, it feels like it's been 2 or 3 months, but the weeks have just been like going. So I'm not surprised that it's been a month, but like looking at everything or nothing that I've done, it's felt like a lot more than a month.
Well, get the saxophone.
Yes.
Take
Oh my
a-
God. I actually like perfect timing. I'm going to look into that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking about the other day? What like toys from your childhood would you like see in a thrift store and immediately like buy, or immediately be like, what are you doing here? Like,
Well, I would grab up any vintage Star Wars toys I could.
Yeah.
But that's like impossible.
yeah.
He-Man. So I was watching that He-Man documentary on Netflix before you came over here. And I had Castle Grayskull, and I had the other castle. I can't remember what the name of the other castle was. Then I had He-Man, even the one like with the damage. Because like there was
Oh.
He-Man and Skeletor had like damage. I can't remember, there was something damage indicator. So when you hit the other guy in the chest,
like,
this little thing had like it was like a pressure plate. You could push on and it would go chuk, chuk, and it would flip. And it would be like a scar across their chest. I had forgotten about that till I saw it. I was like, yeah, I had those. But it's such a He-Man. Like
Yeah.
you can't get more manly than that.
I know. He-Man.
And he looked so gay. Rippling muscles, just a small like cod
then,
piece,
like, a weird
chest piece.
Bowl cut. Like what?
His hair was awful.
That is not what I pictured the manliest man in the galaxy to have a haircut.
It
like,
was
you know?
it was the 80s though. It was like 84
That's-
when it came out. So I wouldn't
fair
have even
point.
been surprised if he had a nice thick mustache.
Ooh,
Which he
like Tom
would've-
Selleck.
Oh, would have made him super manly. Yeah, he's totally manly. That's a He-Man right there.
Yeah.
That we had these ones called Gutsmen
What
that
the
were
hell?
like a super cheap ripoff of G.I. Joe.
Gutsman.
Gutsmen. And we also had G.I. Joe toys.
Oh.
And I remember as a kid thinking, man, I hope someday they take these G.I. Joes and make a movie out of them. And then maybe even a sequel. Well, it was not a good idea.
No.
It was awful.
It was a fucking horrible idea.
Okay, all right. So your choice,
Yeah.
because we haven't done an action movie in a while, which was like, yeah, you're right, was G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Which I guess, according to Wiki, was designed to be a sequel, but also a soft reboot. And I'm like, how can the sequel be rebooting the entire franchise?
Well, a reboot of the 2009 quote unquote hit.
The one with Channing Tatum.
G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra.
Yeah.
So this is what I thought was funny. I'm thinking, okay, there was another one though. There was one
Yeah,
before that
yeah.
because Rise of Cobra is a sequel. Or
That's what I
sounds like
thought.
a sequel.
Yep.
So I'm like looking on IMDb going, oh no, this was, so I like looked into it and I'm like, oh, that's the one with Marlon Wayans and Channing Tatum. I'm like, that's the one I'm thinking of, but I think that's the first one. This Rise of
Yep.
Cobra is the second one. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yep.
And I even had to, like, once I started watching this, at one point I went, okay, I feel like I'm missing a ton of information.
Yeah.
I don't know who these characters are. I need to pause it. And I watched a guy on YouTube do a review of it. Just him on his it was really awkward, but he was really good. Yeah, this is kind of like heavy set, nerdy looking Asian guy. I don't know. I should have got his name and gave him a shout out, but our 9 listeners don't really care. So yeah, I had to watch that, and I'm like, okay. Then I get to the end, I'm like, there's no connection at all, except
Okay.
for this one
Channing
thing in the
Tatum.
last minute. Well, Channing Tatum in this 1 minute of the end of the movie. Where
Oh.
dude's whistling like, what's that stupid song Zartan whistles? When the Saints go marching in?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, who whistles that?
I know.
Freaking
That's what you
whistles.
play in like a 6th grade marching band.
Well,
That's not what the villain of G.I. Joe's whistles.
can you whistle? Yeah, I can whistle, but if I'm whistling, I'm gonna pick a song and then whistle that song. Not
Yeah.
but like not a marching band song. I
No.
don't know. Maybe I'm being prejudiced against certain music types. Maybe somebody really enjoys marching band songs and is like, hey,
Clearly,
I'm
this
gonna
guy.
whistle this song. I'd rather whistle something cool, like the chick from Kill Bill.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can whistle like a motherfucker. There's no practical use for it at all. Actually, no. There's a whistling world championship, and I've seen it. Yeah, because I watched the guy that was in it, and I'm like, really?
That's the best you got, bitch.
What are you even whistling? And I had to look at the name underneath. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Alicia Keys at all. So I got to look into it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I when other people whistle and they're not good at it,
You're like, shut up.
it just makes me want to like, shut up in their face.
Oh, you would hate being around my grandpa then. He whistles, and it's not bad, but he doesn't whistle songs. He just makes up his own shit and whistles. He'll just be
God.
like, and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, what? And I'm like, what are you trying to whistle? And he's like, I'm just whistling. And I was like, Ron, what do you mean?
There's reasons to whistle. Like you whistle in amazement.
Yeah.
Or whistle at someone if you're like, I can't do a loud whistle.
No,
my,
I can't either.
My whole family can, but I'm just like, I can't.
I can't either.
I've not been blessed with the loud whistle. And my buddy Blake, he's like, I can whistle, but he can only do like the down, and I can't do that. But then I was trying to explain to him how to whistle, and you never really think about how you whistle. But I'm like, oh, my tongue is pushed against the bottom of my teeth.
Yeah.
And then, can you whistle and hum
What?
together?
No. No.
Well, just it's a hum, right? So
Okay, R2.
it's like my sad robot. It's my sad R2D2. Okay, anyway, let's stop. Enough with the robot noises. We're going to get into G.I. Joe Retaliation here. So this got a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, 48 from the viewers.
Which,
It was-
what?
Okay. At points, I was like, this is pretty entertaining, actually. As silly
never
and
thought that.
stupid as it is, and as dumb as the storyline is, I'm like, this is actually, like, it's well done crap. Like a well done, shitty storyline.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Michael
Polished
Bay
turd.
made it.
Same!
Because how many times do we hear,
Yeah.
like, at least a
Yep.
dozen? At least a dozen.
And the font of the credits, I was like, Michael. And the soundtrack, I was like,
oh,
Mr. Bay?
Nickelback?
Yeah.
Nickelback?
and then at one point, a fucking motorcycle disassembles, and I'm like, I swear this is Michael Bay. I swear.
Turns into missiles.
Yeah.
Turns
No,
into like
not Michael.
9 mini missiles.
Yeah.
Why would you want to ride a bike like that?
I know.
Okay, Snake Eyes. So this bike is made completely of explosives. And don't push
And
this
it'll
button.
come apart.
Don't push this button until you're ready to detonate it.
Otherwise, your ass is grass.
Like, fuck, what if you go to start it and like, and all of a sudden,
It's
turns
pushed
into
to
9
start
missiles
and
and
you
just
push the wrong
explodes.
button.
God damn it! Why don't you label it missiles?
So-
It seems so silly.
This was made in 2013,
It was
which
4
feels
years
like
after the first one.
eons ago. Like,
Yeah, well, 7 years ago
years.
now.
and it sounded like Chris Evans was narrating it, and I was like,
Wait, there was a narrator?
at the very beginning, like there was some talking about explaining the GI Joes,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, Chris Evans, and I looked into it, and it wasn't, and I was really disappointed.
That's happened before in a movie I remember watching. I remember, I'm not going to delve into it, but I just remember doing that too. When I was younger, I'm like, oh, this sounds exactly like this person.
Yeah.
And they're just uncredited. But I've like other people have been like, this is that person.
Yeah.
Wait, what if that's a Mandela effect thing?
Ooh, probably.
Ooh,
Probably.
Like, some of us are like, that has to be that person, but
Yeah.
he's not credited. And people can hear him. But even if you ask him, he goes, I don't remember doing that.
Yeah. You're like, come the fuck
Yeah.
on.
Well, then who did it then? There's nobody credited as a narrator.
I realized in this movie, because recently we reviewed Rampage, which has The Rock in it, And like The Rock's been really prominent lately in movies.
It's huge, physically and figuratively.
Yeah. And I realized in this movie, all the way back in 2013, just like Ryan Reynolds plays himself basically in movies, The Rock plays himself in movies. He's always like, I recently watched Hobbs and Shaw when it came out, and then I watched Fast and the Furious 8 for fun on Netflix. And he's literally like, don't try it, candy ass.
He is The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock plays The Rock.
Yeah.
Except for Jumanji. The Rock plays the kid
Yes.
very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like The Rock's got he's great, he's entertaining, he's fun to watch. I didn't realize this was a Rock movie.
I know. I thought it was a Channing Tatum
I had no
movie.
idea. I'm like, oh, The Rock is a supporting actor in
Yeah.
this movie, and
Nope.
him and Channing Tatum are a team.
No.
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 Well, I'm jumping way ahead, but that was one big disappointment.
I know. And I thought Bruce Willis was going to have more to do in it, you know?
Yeah, well, he has the gun house,
That's true.
which just is insane. Okay, all right. So we start this off. We are introduced to Duke and The Rock. They're at Duke's house The Rock's house playing video games. Or one of their houses playing video games.
The Rock, because he has his kids.
That's right. The daughters are there.
Yeah.
And so coming out of the first one, I don't think we see The Rock at all, do we? In the like, I watched that recap. There was no mention of The Rock.
No.
I don't think he's in it. So it's like opening scene, boom, hey, here's The Rock and Channing Tatum. I'm like, oh, The Rock's in this?
Yeah.
Well, shit. So, and they're just like pals. They're playing
Yeah.
video games. And watching people on movies play video games, it's not realistic at all.
Nope.
You're not that calm,
No.
especially if your buddy's not reviving you and he's just spinning in circles.
Yeah.
You're
raging.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I sold my PlayStation. I think I mentioned that last podcast. And I'm so much calmer as a result because I don't get that text, hey, you want to play some Warzone? And I'm like, and neck starts to twitch. And I'm like, fuck.
Fine.
Let's get mad then. Because that's all it is. Like you get on there and you're like, why aren't you listening? Or nobody's communicating. And you try to just work together as a team and your teammates suck. And you got to carry them, or it's vice versa. It's usually me that sucks. So I'm talking for the other people.
Yeah.
it's
Nintendo
just-
is just so much happier.
It is so calm. It's Zelda. You just get the piano, the occasional piano riff here and there, and then the sounds of the sounds of nature.
Yeah.
It's just so much better. I've not. I've logged over 60 hours.
Nice.
I haven't been playing games that much actually. I've been playing those drums
That's
and climbing outdoors and paddle boarding, and
Nice.
it's been good. I'm loving quarantine life.
so. The president's having a meeting.
Oh yes.
And he says, get me the G.I. Joes. And then I just started laughing in bed because I was picturing the action figures. And I was picturing someone setting them up. Here you go, Mr. President.
Dun, dun,
and
dun,
we
dun,
realized,
dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
just like Toy Story. And then, okay, so they're in the ship and they're getting a pep talk. And this young looking guy, The Rock is like, put a bullet in your
Flint.
mouth. Flint. No, Mouse.
Wait, no, yeah, mouse.
Mouse. And I'm like, Timmy? And
Wait, was it?
Yeah, that was Timmy from Jurassic Park. And I was like,
What?
you better not get electrocuted, bitch.
Yeah. 3. Timmy. Annoying little bastard.
Yeah.
Those kids were the worst part of Jurassic Park.
I know.
The worst.
In the book, what's her face was a whole lot worse though.
Yeah, because I did the audiobook.
Yeah.
The audiobook was great. Plus, there was like half of the Lost World.
In
well, not
the
half. Maybe
yeah.
the opening, like the opening of Lost World is the opening of Jurassic Park.
Yep.
The little girl getting eaten by the
Compies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what the hell,
I
Jurassic
know.
Park? What the hell, Hollywood?
What the hell?
Trying to turn one story into 2 movies.
So at this point, after I realized it was Timmy from Jurassic Park on the plane, I was like, I need to read the Wikipedia and find out who these people are. It was like I was reading Hebrew or something. I read the Wikipedia and I was like, Snake Eyes, Mouse, Flint, who?
Well, see, you didn't grow up with G.I. Joe, though. So it's
No,
a
I
little,
didn't.
like, even if...
No, I didn't.
Because if you did, you just hear those names and go, oh, yeah, I remember them. I remember that guy.
The only one I recognized as soon as I heard it was Cobra Commander.
Cobra Commander.
Yeah. That I recognized that immediately.
Well, Destro, he was like his right-hand man.
Yeah.
So he's, but he got left behind. Fucking Cobra Commander.
But yeah, I was like reading the wiki and I was like, there's no hope for me. I'm not going to understand.
I will guide you. It's okay. But no, that's the thing. It wasn't a hard, well, no, it was an extremely hard movie to follow.
Yeah.
But they gave you so much exposition that it was like, if you look away from the TV for 10 minutes and came back, you're like, what's going on? They're like, all right, now here we are at the mountain where we have to kidnap this person and go down here and get this guy. And you're like,
Good
okay,
thing our
cool.
mission 10 minutes ago was a success. Like, yeah.
Well, I loved the speed at which this opening happened because
Yeah.
I was expecting, this is the way I saw it. The president has his meeting and they're like, what should we do? Go in and don't. And then he's like, get me the Joes. And all of a sudden it's like, bam, they're in the back of the plane and it's going on. I'm like, okay, so are we being introduced to the Joes on a separate mission? Then they do their thing and then it's like, hey, Joes, the president wants to talk to you about a top secret mission. And you're like, okay, cool. So he said, this is what we want. Then they introduce the characters and then it's like, now that story fucking dovetails into the next part. But it's like, no. Get me the Joes. Bam, they're on the mission. There's no like, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. This is what they need. This is blah, 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 blah. There's no plan. Just, hey, we're in the plane. Let's go.
Let's go. We're ready.
And they drop into a warehouse.
Yeah.
And I love how they each get their own enemy.
I know.
There is an exact amount of enemies for the exact amount of Joe. Like it's so
They're like
so
perfect.
Silly. And like just, okay, attack them head on. All right, let's do this. I will say though, the action scenes were off the charts insane.
Yeah,
Not
again,
like-
why I thought Michael Bay was involved.
Yeah, and like not insane in a good way. They were
No.
just ridiculous. Oh, the remote control bullet.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So,
my
yeah.
God.
So like they're introducing them to some of the weapons, and she's like, "This is if you use this bullet and you'll shoot it, you can look in this eyepiece and you
And
can."
it was flying like a 747.
And apparently, if you just tilt your head, that turns it. That
curves the bullet.
curves the bullet. The bullet, which is traveling at a speed of what seemed to be like, I don't know, 30K an hour. Yeah. Because he shoots it, and then it's like, we cut to the view of the bullet, and it's like, goes around this bin, and he's like, huh. And he just tilts his head to the right, and all of a sudden, oh!
And then heat seeks to the guy.
So did that bullet, it wasn't traveling fast enough to kill somebody. It's like
No.
30K an hour. It's just going to go bam. It's going to be like somebody poking you really hard.
Yeah.
He just like, kills him. And I'm thinking, well, okay, so did he like push another button that sped it up to 2,000 feet per second or so? No. So that had me laughing really hard. I watched this by myself really high in 2 sessions. Finished it last night, and then I started watching the night before. The night before, I'm like, oh my God, it's an hour 47. I gave it
felt
20
like
minutes, and
3
I'm
hours.
like, I'm going to bed. Because I've realized something. I've cut down on the amount of weed I've been smoking for for this whole week, basically.
Yeah.
Because it was, man, I went 5 days without weed.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a rough 5 days.
Oh, right.
Not rough. I just think my
just
brain
sucked.
just goes way too fast. And when I'm like, okay, I'm not going to smoke this fast. And I've noticed something that when I smoke weed at like 5:30, by 9:30, I'm like super tired because I'm burning out.
Oh.
Lately, I just smoke. If I start smoking at 5:30, I'm like, let's smoke again at 6:30. Smoke another joint at 7:30. Maybe do a bong hit at 7:45. Smoke some more weed at 8:30. Maybe another joint at 9:30. I'm just high all evening, so I'm not even burning out. So lately, I've been like, why the fuck? Because I'll just smoke one joint at 5:30 and then maybe another one at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then like I'm like, oh God, I'm fucking like yawning, like tired. What is wrong with me? I'm like, oh, that's what happens when you smoke weed like a normal person. It makes sense now. You're not just maintaining a level of being like, fuck. It would be like I'd be burning out in the middle of my sleep. Just, yeah, so it's interesting. So I got like 20 minutes into this and was like, I can't do any more right now. I need to take a break.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the remote control bullet. Blah.
And then 11 minutes into this movie, and I made a note, what the fuck is this dialogue? Like, 11 minutes in, and I'm like,
G.I. Joe.
oh, fuck. And I was like, I want to turn it off. Like, not even the first action sequence made me want to stay. And I like action movies. I like them. Even shitty ones. You make me watch... Fuck, what's a shitty... You make me watch a Transformers movie? Sure. Even Rampage I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like, because it was a big fucking gorilla.
I liked-
Pacific Rim.
Oh,
Prime
no.
example. cool. You hate it. I love it. I
Shout
think
out,
it's great.
Shout out to Tyler
Tyler.
Myers because he's on your side.
Yes, he is.
And
Mwah.
whenever this quarantine's over, we're gonna get him out here,
And we're gonna watch
I'm
it.
gonna get someone on my side who thinks Pacific Rim is stupid.
No one's going to be on your side.
There's somebody out there. Hey, anyone out there? If
Yeah.
you think the movie Pacific Rim and its sequel, Pacific Rim, I can't think of
Uprising.
the Uprising, is bad,
Pacific Rim Uprising is bad,
Message-
but Pacific Rim,
message me and get on my team
no.
against these two in the future because I need it.
Regular if you
By the end, you guys will have me like Terminator Genesis going like, yeah, you know, it was actually pretty cool. It was all right. No, don't go against your fucking gut, Jeff. It's bad.
no, if the soundtrack to Pacific Rim alone makes it so good.
What name one song? Like why? What
The Game of Thrones composer made the entire soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ramen Duwadi?
Yeah.
Duwadi? I
yeah.
can never pronounce
There's
his name.
this song.
Ramen.
Stopping the Apocalypse.
Because he does the music for Westworld, which is an amazing soundtrack. And he also, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones is pretty good. He does another one too. Crap. I can't think of it. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
The soundtrack alone, Canceling the Apocalypse. So good.
We're going to get shut down. Just kidding.
I'll fast forward to the good
If
part.
we get that popular that we get taken down, fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
Do yourselves a favor and look up Pacific Rim original score, track number 3, Canceling the Apocalypse. It's so good.
I will check that out
It
later.
starts with just the guitar and then it gets more like synthy. It's so good. I'll listen to it on drives and my serotonin levels will be like through the roof.
So they steal this nuke. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I think 11 minutes in was when they were having the shooting competition. It
Yes,
was like,
with the cupcake. And I was
we
like,
get one shot. Sorry, one shot. That's it. The Rock took 2 shots.
yeah,
He picked up a machine gun and went
yeah.
2 bursts.
And then they were talking about like Channing Tatum's panties. And I was like, what the fuck?
And he's like,
You like my panties?
up like your panties. And he's like, whoa, you like them, my panties? Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Like,
It was like, and that's the kind of character that The Rock plays, though.
Yeah.
He's that character.
yeah, he'll say something and then something in response will be said. And then he'll be like, what?
Yeah, he has that character. I love the guy. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He's a huge superstar.
And he's nice.
So we cut away to Jonathan Pryce. He's the guy playing the president. I can only picture him as the High Sparrow.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, the High Sparrow.
Oh.
Game of Thrones. Shame. Admit your shame.
See, I was thinking, I made a note at this point too. I said, I can't look at this guy without thinking he's going to run around a ship yelling Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he's Elizabeth Swan's daughter. Father.
That's right. Elizabeth Swan, find my daughter. So,
Pirates.
yeah. So then we're like, okay. So we find out he's Zartan. Zartan has taken the place of the president.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what else happens there. But then we come back to, because apparently the Cobra has reconnaissance flies that are also explosives. Because we see this little fly, then it's like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Cobra attacks, and you're like, wow, okay. And then Duke gets blown up.
Yeah.
And
I was like, I thought Channing Tatum was the head of this movie and this franchise.
I wrote it with a question mark. I said, Duke gets blown up?
Yeah.
And then I the Rock and Flint and Lady J jump into a well, and then end up staying there. This was actually pretty fucking cool. This scene.
Yeah,
I
them
thought
climbing
was,
out?
I thought, no, like before that, when they're in the well, all 3 of them, and the Rock's look around, he's like, okay, and they all go underwater, and the bad guys like stand on top of the well, they're shining the lights, and like they're underwater looking at each other, and then the soldiers walk
shoots
away,
in it.
come back, one comes back and like starts shooting there, and like the bullets are whizzing by the Rock's face, and he just looks super fucking intense, super calm. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like my inner 10-year-old boy was like, that's so cool. Holy shit. Because you'd freak out. Most people would just freak out. Be like, man, no, he's fucking cold as ice. He's badass.
That's true.
It's so cool. And like, yeah, I thought was pretty neat. But yeah, I was just yelling, teamwork makes the dream work, when they were back to back to back climbing up the well. And then getting out of the well.
Yeah.
I don't.
don't
I don't
think that
see
would
how
work.
that worked for them. I played it twice because they all like The Rock pushed off them and jumped forward, and then they both seemed to like spin inward toward him at the same time and then jump on his
Yeah.
back.
I guess.
So because like it's like another thing because you can't have a Rock movie without showing how strong he is. He can totally hold himself up on a ledge with a 210-pound man and a 140-pound woman. Like
Yeah.
he's The Rock. He can do anything. And then they climb up him, and I'm like, wow, so impressive.
Can you imagine being that strong and like not roided out?
He is he's a big guy naturally. He's 6'5".
Yeah.
Because I looked it up when him
He's
and
a
Ray
big
Stevenson.
Samoan dude.
Yeah, I looked it up when him and Ray Stevenson started fighting. So I was like, man, Ray Stevenson's not a small dude. He's 6'3". But they make him look like they're the same height.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this is gonna be a good fight. But yeah, that scene won't work. But yeah, there's a debate on whether he's juiced up or not.
Yeah.
Because he is a house of a man.
True.
He's big, and he's just all veins.
Yeah.
All muscle
Very
and veins.
vascular.
Muscle and tanned veins.
But he, like, steroids are linked to, like, small testes and fertility issues, and he has 2 kids, and he's married.
That's true.
And-
I think he just puts in the fuck. That guy fucking works hard.
Yeah.
He works out every day. He brings his Iron Paradise gym with him.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes. He's like, I'm going to the grocery store. Bring the gym. I mean, not that intense, but he flies. He's like, bring my gym.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine being that big of a star and that rich, where you're just like,
Bring my gym.
I'm going to bring my gym with me. I'm going to bring my living room with me wherever I go. I wouldn't even want to bring this stuff, but it would just be cool to know you could.
Yeah.
Just show up somewhere and you're like, oh man, this looks just like my place in Victoria.
Yeah.
Right on. You guys even got the bobbleheads. Nice. You guys got the attention to detail. So now Zartan, a.k.a. the president, has named G.I. Joe public enemy number 1. And at this point, we're 20 minutes into the movie. And this is where I wrote it down. I'm like, did we have to watch the first one? And that's when I watched the recap and was like, oh, you don't.
Nope.
You only had to see the last minute of the first one where Zartan was whistling that stupid song. And you're like, okay, we're caught up. We're good. Because there was no connection. Like
that
the
makes
only
it
connection
so
was
much worse.
Duke.
And he dead. 20 minutes in, he gone.
And I was thinking, okay, they're going to bring him back. They have to bring him back.
Yeah.
But no, The Rock and Flint and Lady J climb out the well, and you're like, oh, this is a Rock movie.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm in anyway. We got
Adjust
to review
my
it.
expectations.
But it's just weird when you're not expecting. I guess I didn't see the movie poster. Was The Rock in the middle of the movie poster?
I don't know,
Because
actually.
if he was, then we should have known better. We should have known it was a Rock movie. If Channing Tatum's off to his left and like Lady J's on his right, which I think
It's okay, so it's The Rock in the middle in the background, Bruce Willis in the middle in the foreground, Channing to his right of The Rock, Snake Eyes to the left of The Rock, and then very small Lady J. It's a white ninja and the lady
Storm
ninja.
Shadow.
Yeah.
I never got the
Jinx.
Jinx, that's right. Jinx.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at the underground prison. This is right. Yeah, I wrote it down again. So did Duke actually die?
Yeah,
He
and I was
did.
like, Timmy's dead too.
So we get Timmy. So we get who we think is Snake Eyes
Yeah.
getting escorted into this underground prison by Walter Goggins.
And Frank Sinatra's playing. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. If liking Sinatra makes you evil, then give me my lair right now.
Look, be a lady tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I miss right now?
What?
Karaoke.
I know. I was thinking about that today.
I would love to. Like, I wasn't doing it before this happened, so but it's like
There was a scheduled karaoke night at the pub March 28th, and it had to be canceled because we self-quarantined on the 17th.
That's right. Because it was,
My
I remember you invited me to that. And I was
karaoke party.
like, sweet, I'm so for it. And you're like, don't fuck my coworkers. I'm like, what? I wasn't intending on it, but now you say you can't do it. I'm going to do it. Or try anyway. Don't. I'm like, what?
Don't
Just
do it.
don't. But yeah, I just want to go sing something somewhere for someone. All right, so he gets, I'm thinking, all right, there's no way they're going to capture Snake Eyes. This ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen.
no.
And then so they unmask him, and you're like, oh motherfucker, it's Storm Shadow. And I didn't know that, but he's like Storm Shadow, and I'm like, oh wait, who is that? Hold on, and I pause it.
Yeah.
Who is Storm Shadow? And they're like, Storm Shadow helped Snake Eyes in the TIL, blah 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 blah. This is my impression of the Google voice, and I'm like, okay, so it's not Snake Eyes. So he gets dumped in the water, and like, oh shit, no, this guy's stuck. And then I'm like, wow, I can't be stuck. Something's gonna happen. And then Snake Eyes shows up on the explosive assembled motorbike, blows his way through the fucking front door, and okay, I'm so confused here because I'm pretty sure in the first one, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes teamed up and helped each other
Yeah.
to like kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And then in this one, Snake Eyes saves him. So it was like maybe they're even. But later on, they fight.
Yeah.
So, like, why?
I honestly couldn't tell you. Even my thorough normal research and reading trivia did not help me with this.
Like, if this is stumping you,
yeah.
like, I'm fucking hopeless. I don't know. I'm just punching the wind here. But this is where Destro and the Cobra Commander are being held. Now, okay, do you remember Cobra Commander? Did you Google anything about the first G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra? Okay, his mask looked really stupid.
In the first one?
Yes, because like the one in this, like the flat, just silver plate, that's what Cobra Commander looked like in the cartoons and in like the action figures.
Yeah.
In the first movie, they gave him like a weird, oh man, like I can't remember what his face looked like. It looks so dumb. Because it looked like someone just took a mold of clay and put it on his face and just kind of went, and pushed their fingers into it. Like, yeah, paint that silver. Make it look chrome. And like, no. Like, why was the person going, hold on, that doesn't look anything like Cobra Commander. Stop. They just did not. They went ahead with it and were like, just leave it in. The budget's done. We can't fix it. But I got this just plain piece of sheet metal right here. No. Print it. Not print it. Cut it. Put it out. Put the video out. Yeah. So Snake Eyes shows up, busts them out of there, and then Storm Shadow drops this. Oh yeah, that's how Storm Shadow escapes. So he drops his heart rate down to nothing, and they're like, "Oh shit, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead." And then he like breaks out of there, but then he starts throwing like ninja knives at people, and I'm thinking, why didn't you guys pat him down before you put him in this giant tube where you're hooking him up and putting him in REM sleep? This
They're like, no, this ninja doesn't have any weapons on him. He's fine.
He's clean, boss. But he's still got a suit on. Maybe he's got knives in his suit.
No.
He's clean, boss. He's fine.
I told you.
And he throws out like
Yeah,
15
a million
knives.
ninja stars.
How? Where? Why? This is terrible, terrible henchman. So, oh yeah, this is great. So Storm Shadow, at one point he's got the dude's jacked, by the way.
Yeah, he was hot. When they took the Snake Eyes mask off him, I made a note and I was like, oh, he's hot. Yeah.
He's a good looking dude.
Well, I said, ooh, snake. Oh, no, my phone auto-corrected it. It said, ooh, Snack Eyes is hot.
Snack eye.
He's a snack.
Oh my God, it's a snack. But I love this. Storm Shadow's going to kill Goggins. I don't know. I didn't get his name.
I just called him Teeth.
Walton Goggins, yeah.
Yeah. Ugh,
He's got those teeth.
those veneers.
Hey. Yeah, they are bad.
Yeah.
Wow, this is just noticeable. But he puts so Storm Shadow's standing in water and he takes a defibrillator. And it's like, puts one into the water and like, shocks him. I'm like, I'm not 100%, but I don't think a defibrillator works like that. It's not like an open electrical cable. You just like,
No. There's like, you need to put both on.
yeah, it has to complete a circuit.
Yeah.
And like, that's why you can't have like nipple rings on if you're going to defibrillate somebody because you'll burn their nipples.
Yeah.
Or you'll electrocute them. I can't remember what it is. You'll do a lot of, you'll burn them.
You'll
Do
burn
something.
those nips right off.
Oh, wait, it's Firefly that breaks them out. It's Ray Stevenson.
Oh,
I am completely
right.
wrong, folks. And we are not editing that. So suck it. You can deal with it. Yeah,
Okay,
it's Firefly. It's Ray Stevenson. Because he
comes in and he's like, hello.
Yeah, hello. Oh, don't owe you one now. Or he's like, you owe me one.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
We got a Cobra Commander.
Oh, yeah. So they bust out Cobra Commander, and he's like, sorry, Destro, you're staying here. And he just leaves him there, and he's like, oh, shit.
Oh, okay. Thanks, dude.
Inside, he's like, no!
Thank you, sir.
He's stuck in REM sleep. I love the expo in this movie. He's like, because as they're escaping, Goggins shoots that yellow tank. It explodes, and they're running. Like, one shot blows this
Boom.
tank up. So, and then they're running out, and the fucking explosion hits Storm Shadow in the back and burns him. So as they're leaving, Cobra Commander's like, get him healed up. I'll need him for the war I'm about to start. I'm like, in case you didn't pick up on what he's going to do, let's just tell the viewers, I'm going to start a war, just so you guys know.
That's
Wink,
exactly what I'm doing, because I got to let you know, because this movie is so convoluted.
So then we end up at Cobra's lair, and this is where we get to see, we just got a short clip, and it's like Cobra Commander's viewpoint, which is very zoomed in, I might add.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was very like...
Like, how do you see anything? You can't see shit. I'm like, so it's very zoomed in and like pixely.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how does this
How do
guy
you see anything,
how do you
dude?
see it all? And it's like, everyone will bow to Zeus. And this one, like, he's got a Zeus. They're building the satellite. Cool. Okay. And this is another thing. I just realized this. They're building that satellite like that day. It seemed like they're like putting it together. And then later they have a dozen of them around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay.
Like, how would you, and getting them to space?
Yeah,
like,
you gotta launch those things from somewhere.
Oh
So there was a lot of info we didn't have about the extent, the reach of Cobra.
Yeah.
Because it like, how do you put like those, and where do you get the giant tungsten rods?
Yeah.
They're using as like nukes. Like this, like I don't think that's easy shit to just dig up and.
No, and
like,
you can't like easily disassemble nukes.
There's some nerd listening to us like, fuck you!
Yeah.
You know this already. Stupid. I don't know what you're talking about. So we get introduced to that, and then all of a sudden we flash to Blind Master's lair, and it's RZA from Wu-Tang. Training Jinx.
Yeah.
He's training Jinx, and that's like Snake Eye's sister.
I think.
think that he said that at one point. He's like, "Oh, you're the sister with snake eyes," blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is where he's just basically telling exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
You're gonna do this, and you're gonna infiltrate Cobra." And I'm like, "Wow, the exposition in this is insane."
And
So-
then they have a fight on the side of a cliff mountain.
Ooh, have we got there? Hold on.
I think so.
Nope. No,
Oh.
that's later. That's later.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
Here, so yeah. So this is where we flash back to the city, and the Rock and Lady J. So the Rock is Roadblock.
Yeah.
So Roadblock, Lady J, and Flint are walking down the street, and at this point they're like,
Right.
"Oh, we're presumed dead. We died in this attack." And then this dude's like, "Where y'all going?" And he's like, "We're gonna go that way. You can't go that way. Just suggest you turn around, go the other way." And he's like, they have a little standoff, and he's like, "Yo, what up, Cameron or whatever? What's the Rock's name? Do you remember? Marvin."
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that name. Hey, Marvin. So he's like, "Yeah, you can stay at the rec center, and you can have my whip, and stay here as long as you need." And of course, the rec center has a boxing ring and a full
course,
gym.
yeah.
He's like, "The thing hasn't been used in years, guys." I'm like, "It's a crack neighborhood. It looked, Kate, look, no offense, it looked like a crack neighborhood. There's no way all that gym equipment's still in there. That place would have been cleaned out.
Yeah.
They would have sold it. I'll sell you this dumbbell for 2 hits. Come on, man. Come on." Like, this shit wouldn't have been there. It would have been sold. So that, I was like, okay, this is unbelievable as well. So then they're like, "Okay, we got to find other Joes. Like, there has to be other Joes out there around the world. We got to find them." The next scene, Snake Eyes and Jinx are driving down the road, and it's like, "Oh, Lady J's alive. Hey,
Yeah.
Lady J, this is Jinx. What's up?"
What up?
And they're just like talking to each other. I'm like, okay, that was really fast. And did you notice how characters gave stories of their lives with no prompting?
Yeah.
Like, we get the Rock's life story here next. "This is where I came from. I used to be at this rec center all the time, and I grew 8 inches. People used to beat me up, and I grew 8 inches and gained 60 pounds, and I beat the shit out of this guy. And then the army needed Joes, and I was like, sign me up."
And you're like,
Cool.
cool. And then Lady J, like, talking about her, like, father and stuff. Like, okay, cool.
It's like, yeah, right on. You wanted to be better than your dad, but he died. That's too bad.
Yeah. Nice rhyme.
Shitty. I didn't even mean to do that.
Is this the point where
And we meet Willis next.
they're, like, looking at photos of the president and they, like, make the finger discovery?
I think so. Yeah. Yes, it was. This is where they're like, "Oh, he's been replaced by someone else.
The president's an imposter solely because of these 2 photos. The president has his left finger on top of his right, and then the next photo, he has his right thumb on top of his left thumb. No same person would do this. It's completely unnatural feeling.
Like, you're basing thumbs.
Thumbs, and it was the connecting words. Like, and right, and oh my God, my buddy and I were laughing our asses off on the phone the other day because we've all known someone who says, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
When I worked at the bar, 2018, CJ started saying it, and then all of a sudden I was saying it, right?
Right?
And so I started pointing that out. And also and and yeah. Because it like runs in my runs in my family. I'll go, yeah, at the start of a sentence. Yeah, I'm totally gonna go out and do that later. Yeah, I've seen that show. Yeah, this movie was like off the charts crazy, right? You start thinking about it, and you're like, fuck, I can't even. So like we're laughing because I'm gonna say something like, yes, like you're just trying to watch your words and you just sound like an idiot. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah. They figure out that it's not him because he's talking differently.
Yeah.
That and the thumbs. But that's it. That's all they have to go on. You're like, doesn't really hold a lot of water.
Yeah. The president was cloned. Oh, why do you think that? Because he like says like all the time now, and his thumbs are resting in different positions. Okay?
All right, let's get him then.
Let's kill him.
So this is where we go to Joel Colton's house, who's Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And I think Bruce Willis gets in on it too, right? Like, isn't he saying like, oh yeah, that, and then there's something else he says. Crap, I just had it in my head and it's gone. Shit. Oh yeah, but anyway, they figure out, this is where they go, okay, you got to kidnap his chief of staff because he's a terrible poker player. Here's where you can find him. Get him. He has the information on where the president is or where the president would be held. So this is where we cut to the street outside. He's like, oh, hey, honey, just coming home. Lost a lot of money, but I learned a lot. Sorry, we're going to have to remortgage the house. Ooh, silly me with my gambling. Terrible poker skills. And then Lady J comes running up, and I was like, oh, my God. I had the finger bite because, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. She comes in little running shorts, and she just, it's hot. It's like a young boy's dream. You're like, oh, man, I remember that action figure. She's real. So they kidnap him. They drug him in a car. And they're like, yeah, this is an amnesia drug. You're going to be asleep in 5 minutes and you're not going to remember anything else. And he's like, why wouldn't you at that point just go, well, I'm not going to tell you anything then.
Yeah.
I'm going to fall asleep in 5 minutes. Why would I tell you anything?
Yeah.
But they get a little bit of information. I don't even know what they got out of him.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't have a note for that. I was like, okay, they're date raping him. And
basically.
That's it.
Take this injection.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Eat your pudding. Then tell us the information and you'll be asleep in 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
And then we get to this ridiculous mountain scene.
Yeah.
This is where it is. So after that, it's like, oh, and all of a sudden, Snake Eyes and Jinx are running up a mountain.
Yeah.
Climbing up a mountain. They're not wearing climbing shoes or like anything with spikes on it because they climb to the tippy top of a gigantic mountain.
Yep.
In what seems like an
30
hour.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, an hour. They're just like, whoo, didn't have to stop, go to the bathroom,
Woo!
eat, nothing. They get to the top and then they rappel down. They didn't even have that much gear with them.
No, they had their size and their
swords.
or not size, katanas.
Yeah, like that's what they have with them, and some rope apparently. There's a point where they're climbing up together, though the rope is already up the mountain. I'm like, who's holding your rope? Who's belaying the other one? How are you climbing together?
Movie magic.
Like just being a climber, I just know that doesn't work. You can't do that. Anyway, Storm Shadow. This is where Storm Shadow is being held.
Yes.
And his burns healed very nicely. And I thought this was great. This is where I was like, fuck yeah. I kind of went, this is badass. I put my phone down. I'm like, I'm not even going to make notes right now. I just want to watch this ninja fight. Mm-hmm. And because the action in this, with all the ridiculousness out of the way and the stupid storyline, the action was, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was well done. The fight scenes were awesome.
I think for me, like the reason like thinking about it, I think the reason I didn't take to this as much, even though the action sequences and fights were like not terrible, I think it was the soundtrack choice because thinking of like action movies that I've seen that I like, it comes down to like if you pair phenomenal music or music that just fits a scene so perfectly to even a mediocre fight scene, I'm in the theater in my living room like, oh yeah, and like even like this is the perfect example. The Fast and the Furious franchise. When I rewatched Fast 8, they're like in Russia driving sports cars on frozen ice, and it's just like and I'm like, yeah, totally believable. Drive the tank. Yeah.
Wait, are they all on speakerphone?
What?
How are they talking to each other in all those cars? Like that's
yeah.
the thing in all those movies. I'm like, how are you so?
Probably, yeah.
Who started the group call? He's like, okay, calling everybody now.
Hey guys.
They're not wearing headsets. They're not wearing earpieces. There's no microphones. I'm like, how are you hearing each other?
And even the army tank has like built.
It doesn't make any sense. There's no logic behind it.
No, but the soundtrack paired with it's a good soundtrack paired with an action sequence that gets me.
It's true. So this scene by this point, I'm like, you know what? This movie's actually watchable and kind of cool. And then the Storm Shadow's body wrapped up, right?
Yeah.
They throw him off a bridge. Both jump off the bridge and hook themselves onto a zip line that they had set up.
Yep.
Also, while they were climbing up this gigantic mountain, that zip line was like miles long.
Yeah.
Which would mean it would weigh thousands of pounds. Tens of thousands, not tens of thousands. If it was a cable, yes, tens of thousands of pounds.
Yep. And yeah.
Then I'm thinking, oh, wow, they got away. Then it's like, no, look, all these ninjas have grappling hooks. And they shoot up to the top of a mountain. I'm like, okay, that mountain peak has to be 1,000 feet away. What are they hooking onto? Is it just like, pew, and just hooking onto the snow and be like, you're good?
Yep. This was the point where I was like, I'm out.
I was laughing so hard.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know. And then I was checking like the buff. I was seeing how long was left like every 5 minutes at this point. I was
how
like,
much was left at this point? Because I didn't mark it down. Do you know? Oh, yeah. At this point, okay, so I wrote down the soundtrack, and this is ridiculous, so intense. I think by this point, an hour and 3 minutes in, we've heard that Michael Bay sound about 15 times.
Yeah.
And that is late. That's after the ball, where Lady J in the red dress picks
Oh,
up. Yeah,
wow.
it's still, this is like 45 minutes in.
ooh.
Because these ninjas are getting chased by expert mountain climbing ninjas with multiple grappling hooks.
Yep.
Because they all shoot a second grappling hook. Then they have a crouching tiger, hidden dragon fight on the mountainside. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! I'm just like, welcome to Las Vegas' new show, Ninjas on Ropes. It was so insane. Like you ever just held onto a rope?
Yeah.
Like when you're a little kid, you climb the rope. Climbing a rope
gymnastics.
is hard. Climbing a rope is hard. Holding your weight on one hand on a rope is hard, challenging.
We did that as punishment.
Really? Mm-hmm. Where? Torture school?
Gymnastics.
Holy. Okay.
If you like fucked up the bars, you would have to like go on the rope and like climb up sitting in a V with just your arms and like hold up.
Jesus. Like I hang on my hangboard with one arm. I can only do it for about 10 seconds before I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
These guys are doing it running on a mountain. One arm, swinging a sword with the other, jumping, kicking. I'm like, wow. This is just beyond absurd.
Yeah. I mentally was like, I'm out.
Oh, see, this is the point where I was just like, I'm going to smoke another joint.
Yeah.
This is too crazy. Then we go to the ball. We got Lady J in the red dress. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So she's got this little lipstick container, and it's like a transmitter. So she gets a hair off of who's she stealing?
President.
The president. Yeah. So Zartan.
Yeah.
Zartan. All I can think of is Zoltan when I hear that name from Dude, Where's My Car?
Zoltan.
Zartan. So she gets his hair. She opens the lipstick container, puts it in there, closes it, pushes a button, and then all of a sudden it goes boop, 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 boop. There's like 6 lights on the side. I'm like, there's nothing secret about that. It's like, oh, it's so inconspicuous. Let me just put this on. Boop, 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 boop,
Yeah.
Red, orange, yellow, green. Like, what? She's like, okay, I sent you a sample of his hair. Figure out who it is. I'm like, oh. And then, of course, the nano flies again come in to ruin everything. So the Rock's like, oh, I love this. They're going to shoot him. They're going to shoot the president. So like, it's Zartan. It's not the president.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're going to have one shot. He pulls out like a 9mm. He's across the street and he's like,
I know. Not
One-
a sniper.
yeah, one in the chamber. Like, I'm good.
And
I'll
it
get
has
him
a
from
silencer on it.
here. Yeah, making it even more difficult to shoot. And this is the thing. They had an arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, it's like enough for a battle.
Yeah.
But not enough
And
for
you
a
choose
war.
a handgun.
Yeah, grab a rifle. Because I thought it was Michael Bay. This
Yeah.
director actually did all of the Justin Bieber movies and Crazy Rich Asians and Step Up 2. Not even Step Up 1. He stepped up and stepped in for the sequel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Honey.
But I'll have to edit that so it sounds better. No, I'm not going to.
No.
Not editing anything.
Nah.
Oh, yeah, so this is where he fights. The Rock and Ray Stevenson fight in the alley. And, oh, man. So the Rock's getting beat up.
Yeah.
He's going to get, like, killed. And Flint and Lady J come in the van and hit Firefly so hard. He
fucking
flies straight up.
flies.
Yes, he flies straight up in the air, like 20 feet.
Yeah, like Superman.
Crashes down face first on the concrete, gets up and is like, brrr.
Yeah.
Shakes it off.
Meanwhile, The Rock just got the shit beat out of him, and he's like,
dying on the road.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen anyone get hit by a car.
nope.
Well, I would think that a van doing, let's say 100 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Would have just exploded Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
Or at least broke his spine and legs and would have run him over. He wouldn't have gone straight up. I don't know why he
No.
went straight up. This is just
Maybe 'cause
another.
He's Firefly.
Yeah.
And he was flying.
Oh, so this is where now they're going to start forming a plan.
Yeah.
Or we're coming up to the plan because the next thing I wrote was montage because they go to Bruce Willis's house. Wow. Everything is guns. The
Yeah.
house is made of guns.
He's like, lift up the couch cushion. Guns.
Guns. Hey, grab me one of those bananas. What's under the bananas? Oh, look, grenades. Oh, you want a suit? Hold on. Boop, 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 boop. Phew. Bulletproof everything and more guns. I want to see the show, the seasons of the show of the making of Joe's house. Like in season 5.
Move that bus. And it's a fucking nuke.
Yeah. So they make a plan. I just wrote the plan and then skipped over because
Yeah,
it literally
the
took
plan.
like 20 seconds. This is what we're gonna do. Brenda's with me. I don't know why Bruce Willis kept calling Lady J Brenda. Was that her name? Brenda.
I don't
Brenda
know.
J.
I don't think so. I don't know.
He was just being a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. So the meeting of the presidents. Won't be able to do this anymore. You have to do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
I launch all your nukes. Wait, am I frozen? Can you hear me?
And
Hold
then he
on.
fucking like eviscerates London.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm like, oh. And people at this point still think he's the president.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't like, oh, he's an evil clone. Like, people are like, oh my God, the president's fucking crazy.
Yeah, none of these people were like, wait a second.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like the same guy that was here last time.
Yeah.
Wait, is his right thumb over his left thumb? He's saying like and right and a lot too.
I'm gonna like blow up London, K.
Right?
Right?
Tungsten rod's so much better than a nuke, right?
Right? Look, the fucking Big Ben is eviscerated, right?
Oh, I love this. So this is where we're like, all right, we're flashing back and forth between places. And we're at the presidential retreat. Guards outside. Lady J comes ripping up in a car, fishtails it.
Yep.
Fucking Willis somehow opens the tailgate from the inside, which is, you can't do that unless you have like a screwdriver. And he kicks it open. She must be doing like
100?
Yeah, 100K an hour.
Yeah.
Fishtails. He manages to stay in there and just
Yeah.
mows them down with a machine gun. I'm like, physics says you'd fly out of the back.
Yep. Unless you're strapped in, but he wasn't.
He wasn't. He was just like, I got this. We're good. I'm propped up on one leg.
Yeah.
This movie was
You're like,
unbelievable.
okay, calm down. Okay.
So I wrote down, and Storm Shadow sets it off, and here we go. Oh, what does Storm Shadow do? How does he start this all? Because he kind of starts the whole...
Oh, yeah, because Cobra Commander is talking in the meeting of the presidents, and I was waiting for him to be like, I want to play a game. Because that was like the fucking Jigsaw voice. And I'm like, okay, what do you want, Cobra? And then Cobra thinks that, what's his
Or
name? Starscream?
Storm Shadow. Cobra is the group, the entity. They're like the superhero.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? Shield.
Justice League. Oh,
Justice League. Yeah, that's their group. Cobra.
yeah, and then
Storm Shadow and Cobra Commander.
Soldier.
You can call him Double C if you want.
Okay, double C's.
No, that sounds weird.
Yeah. I want to call him Starscream now. Fuck, what's it? Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow.
Okay, so
The White Ninja.
CC thinks Storm Shadow is like on his side with Jinx, and they're ready to like kill everyone. But then he turns and attacks the red ninja boy.
That's right.
And then Cobra Commander's like, "Fuck,
damn it!" So yeah, I love. So this is when the Rock comes blasting out of the fucking tank that Bruce Willis gave him.
Yeah.
That looks homemade. Does not look very thick. It is fast though. I'll give it that.
but should it be?
I don't know. Thing's pretty.
Like, how
fucking
fast
badass.
are tanks?
They can go pretty fast.
I know, but like,
Tanks. Well, then that tank's a little bit smaller. That thing looked like it probably had like a who knows how many horsepower engine in there. It looked like it could haul ass. Thing was pretty cool.
I wonder how The Rock would fit in a real life size tank.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
obviously, like TV and movie props.
He is
are
a
gonna-
real life size tank.
True.
Shit's motherfucker's big. So I wrote down Cobra Commander's an evil motherfucker. They should not keep him alive. They should kill him because I think at this point, he's like, now we're going to blow up the rest of the cities.
Yeah.
Because it was Zartan that blew up or was it Cobra Commander that blew up the London?
It was Zartan.
Okay, Zartan did that.
Because he was looking at it and he was
What
like,
the hell did Cobra Commander do after that? He did something else. He was just like, yeah. He's like, we're going to blow up another city every 10 minutes or something until you motherfuckers comply. I'm like, yeah, why did you guys keep him alive in the first place? Because in the first movie, he's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's revealed to be Cobra Commander. He was pretending the whole movie. It's a stupid story. And then at the end, they just capture him, and it's like, oh, he's done. He doesn't even do anything. And in this one, he almost gets away with something, but he doesn't. It's like the show, like the old cartoon.
Scooby-Doo.
Basically, they could have done it if it wasn't for you meddling Joes. But this is what I don't understand. So the people that work for Cobra Commander, they are pretty chill with just wiping out the human race, essentially.
They're like, all right, as long as it's not me, it's fine.
Satellite's almost in place, sir. 2 more minutes. We got this. What's the satellite for anyway? Like, do they even know?
I don't know.
'Cause
Probably not.
They don't look evil.
No.
None of the soldiers look evil. They don't look like they want to murder people.
No, they just look like they were post-pandemic and needed
Mm-hmm.
some extra cash.
So now we got like a foot chase here going on, and like they get outside. Cobra Commander gets into a helicopter, takes off, and then the Rock and Ray Stevenson have a rematch where they fight with guns in their hands. They like have a fist fight with guns in their hands.
And then at one point, he's got 2 like machine guns in his hand, and he's like, and I'm like, oh my god, I even know that that's wrong.
So the Rock manages to hit this button in the case with 1 second left, but it says override, and then the satellite explodes.
Yeah, like that's the override? Self-destruction?
Apparently.
Why wouldn't you just like
Just stop it.
That's really fucking stupid of Cobra to do, being like, if someone manages to cancel this and hit the button, self-destruct. Don't just power down so we can use it for next time.
Just seems like a waste of money and resources and time. Like it took time to build that thing and somehow launch it into space.
Yeah, but
like,
no, self-destruct.
There's some guy just like, oh shit, I got the buttons backwards.
Yeah.
Fuck. Cobra's gonna kill me. It's just mad. And then this. Okay, so this is like we're getting real close to the end here. The Rock and Stevenson fight. He stops the launch, and Stevenson pulls out one of those little nano flies, and he's like, ha, ha, I'm gonna get him. And then he goes to grab his detonator, and he's like, wait a minute, where's the detonator? And without even turning around or knowing what's going on,
The Rock's like,
pulls the detonator out to show Stevenson, and was like, boop, and
blows him the fuck up.
You'd think that Stevenson would just throw the
Right?
Firefly away.
Yeah.
Wow.
You just realized?
Holy shit. Yeah. I've been calling them nanoflies. I did not realize they're just fireflies. For some reason, I thought they were like a Cobra developed thing. Oh wow.
No, even I connected that. I was like, oh, Firefly has fireflies.
It does make sense now that he showed up every time those things did. See, wow, I'm not the smartest person in the world.
It's fine. You're high as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not really that high, though. I'm high-ish. I totally want to smoke another joint after this.
I'm so high.
High on weed. Yes, me. So back to the soundtrack. They team up. Dun, 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 dun. They're slow motion walking away. I'm like, wow.
I'm like, Michael!
This is insane. I said the only thing that would make it better is if it was Nickelback playing in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God, what's that song that's like, Burn It to the Ground. If Burn It to the Ground was playing.
How's that one go?
We got midnight.
Oh, yeah. We're burning to the ground.
Yeah.
I always think of, what's that one? Never Enough.
I think the weirdest Nickelback song is Sex. S is for the symphony, E is for the ecstasy. X just marks the spot because that's the one you really want. Sex is always the answer. It's never a question because the answer is yes.
I can't believe that's an actual song.
The only reason I know the lyrics so well is because I remember in 8th grade gym class, I was paired with people and we had to put together like a rhythmic gymnastics thing because that was what we were learning for the week. And one of the girls was like, let's do it to Sex. And I'm like 14 and I'm like, okay. And I'm wiggling a ribbon around. And Chad Kroger's just like, the answer's yes.
No question, because
answer's yes. X marks the spot because that's the one she really wants. And I'm just like hula hooping.
Chad Kroger he's a weird character.
He's a weird dude.
I remember when they first came up, and once the big song was "How You Remind Me." I will never forget this. Driving from, I can't remember where my brother was doing his firefighter training in Vermilion, Alberta.
Ooh.
We went to like North Battleford, which was like a 45-minute drive or something like that. And I remember whoever was driving, there was like 8 of us piled into this van. And whoever was driving played the first, never made it as a wise man. I couldn't make it as a poor man stealing. And it just got to the first, this is how you remind me. And then they just started over. They did that for like the whole ride and everybody sang along with it. I was like, Alberta, yeah. This is back in like 2000, 2001. I was like, what is going on here? I hadn't seen my brother in a couple years. I was like, sweet, let's hang out with your firefighter buddies. And they're good shit. But I was like, well, how can you guys listen to this fucking song? On repeat. Let the song finish, for God's sake.
This is how.
This is how I die, because I shoot myself in the face. Oh, it was bad. So there was I was thinking, okay, they leave it open for a sequel.
Another sequel, soft reboot.
So I'm thinking, okay, there's got to be an after credit scene. Nope. No after credit scene.
Nope.
No hint of what's going on. It's been 7 years. I think
it's done. Yeah.
And I think after the whole COVID pandemic, they're going to be hopefully a little pickier about what movies they make.
Well, yeah, because they're like, they're
not making a lot of money.
No, and they're not going to be able to afford to have shit bomb when theaters reopen. Like,
if theaters reopen, they might not reopen.
That's true.
Like, if you think about it, how is Cineplex paying their rent in the cities right now? Like, are they getting subsidized from something? Are they getting money from somewhere?
I don't think so, because Disney isn't even getting subsidized, and that's the biggest corp ever. Disney is hemorrhaging $30 million a day. Damn. Like, they're losing $30 million a day from having their parks be closed, having all their movies shelved and not coming out. The only thing that's keeping Disney afloat right now is Disney Plus.
Jesus. Tigger's going to have to work with Joe King.
Yeah.
Working with the Tiger King.
Oh my God.
Oh, not Joe King, Joe Exotic. Wow.
Joe King.
Jeff. Well, you can tell I did not watch the documentary.
You need to.
I watched the first episode and then the 2 and 3, but it was just background sound. I was like, I basically, you know why I don't want to watch it?
Why?
Because too many people raved about it. Just talk nothing, because it's happened before. People just like, you gotta watch this, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I watch it and I go, that was stupid. Not stupid. It was just like not what I want to watch.
I'm not saying it's like one of the best limited series ever. I'm saying it's just interesting.
All right, well, let's rate this thing.
Okay.
And then I gotta get on this Facebook chat and say happy birthday. I'm
going to give this Two nanobot fireflies.
I was going to use the fireflies. Damn it.
Out of,
Because they're so small.
I know, out of 15 mountainside fights.
Oh, wow.
I was like watching this and fighting the urge to take out my Switch and play Animal Crossing. Or I was fighting the urge to like do anything. I was fighting the urge to not spontaneously die in bed.
It was one of those movies that was hard to focus on.
It was hard for me to, and I think I finally understand how. The only thing I can really equate this to is how people would have felt watching the World of Warcraft movie. Not being into the games, not being into the lore. I had no idea who anyone was. I didn't know if it was canon or not. My Googling failed me because everything I Googled, I was like, okay, well, I don't understand this. I need a fucking Google Translate. Like, it was a dialect of nerd I am not fluent in and I've never heard in my life. So now I'm sorry that I roasted people for roasting and hating Warcraft because I understand your frustration now. I had no idea what was going on, or the GI Hoes, who was a GI Ho in real life, in the lore, and who wasn't. The only person I knew of was Cobra Commander, and I was lost. This was not a nostalgic nerd thing for me.
I've been there before. I can't think of the movie off the top of my head, but I know I've been in that position before with something we've watched, and I've been like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is tough. I'm sure if we went back and listened to this episode, I did 90% of the talking.
Yeah. I was just like, I was listening to it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Although I am proud that I caught the Firefly thing.
God, I can't I'm so dumb. All right. I'm going to give this thing, I was going to use the Fireflies. I'm going to give this one Destro in 8 tubes that keep him in REM sleep stasis and alive. Because it was, I liked the throwback to the toys I used to play with as a kid and the cartoons I used to watch. Like,
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, yeah, G.I. Joe. The Rock was always The Rock.
Yeah.
And it was entertaining, but I was not invested in it at all. The story was silly. The action sequences were good, but ridiculous. Like I said, that mountainside fight was so impossible.
I knew you'd have a lot to say about that.
I could have said more. I could start to tear apart I'm like, you can't climb a mountain like that without gear.
Yeah.
In whatever seemed like, is your suit climate controlled? Are those suits climate controlled? They must be, because it's like, it's cold up there. It's -40.
Yeah.
Top of a mountain, and you're like, I've got this latex suit. I'm good.
It's fine.
It's fine. It breathes. It's got heaters built in. Anyway, all right. Okay.
There we go.
Shout out to my friend Curtis Lindsay. Happy 40th birthday, you old bastard. Talk to you on FaceTime in a second. This doesn't make any sense, time, but hey,
Yeah.
time isn't linear. Time is a flat circle.
Whoa.
Booyah. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram. Find us on YouTube. If you got an idea for something for us to watch,
Hit us up.
hit us up. Let us know. I think we should cut in some Nickelback right about now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
S is for the simple